Alright guys, I thought we'd bring you back in for a bit of an update on what's happening on the twin turbo conversion here. So as you can see up the front we've got the intercooler mounted. Charge cooler mounted, sorry. Someone has added the MRN decals there, but it just goes to show if you want to paint that black it'd be absolutely invisible on a black car, or leave it raw. That's all fitted up with the genuine Porsche fronts there.
And then we've got to do this cutout in the bottom under here to get the air to flow through the front and right underneath the car. So you can see that.
Yeah. We're going to take a look from the back there. You can just see the back of the cooler there, look. As it comes back down, lovely. So helpful measurements on there if you're copying. There you go, I'll get them in for you.
So that's air to liquid charge cooling. So you've got liquid running through that radiator, and that will then take the cooler liquid down to the end of the car, which it will then transfer again back over from liquid to air cooling.
Yep. Which part is
that bit?
Just here at the moment.
It's a bit like an elephant.
Beautiful. Paul has replaced the original coolant lines here. It's not a part of the kit, but it's a known weakness, really. Failure point is the connections in here. So they've been replaced. I mean, when you're adding so much horsepower to a car, it's worthwhile making sure that the coolant system and, you know, everything else for that matter is all working properly. Yeah, I think we pictured the old corroded ones in the last video, but there they are again, if you remember.
They just weld themselves together and just destroy themselves.
Yep, so all replaced for new. Also, this has been gravel text, textured, coated there, but it's not gravel text for copyright reasons. It's from another firm. Let's have a quick look here. We've got them here.
Gel Paints. It's a cover shield, so it's a 2-pack, very thick, basically like a bed liner.
Yeah, it's come out really nicely, that has. It seems to cover really well. You get a lot.
It covers incredibly. It's got some bounce to it, so it won't chip off. It'll.
Yeah, really good stuff. It was about 100 odd quid for 7 litres, did you say?
130 quid.
130 quid for 7 litres, so not bad. Right, you can see the new pipes here, and it's probably better to see them on the other side. These are part of the kit.
I've just added some heat shielding.
Yep, wrap those in heat shield. You see those, they come down to the centre of the car, and then they'll follow the original radiator water pipes, cooling pipes, down the bottom here. It's worthwhile noting at this point all the under trays for the car that came off, and every single one of these studs was seized on and then sheared off. So they've all been replaced. So it's worthwhile noting, if you're doing this job yourself or you're sending it out to someone else to do, that this might, you know, factor in extra time and maybe cost for replacing all of these, because every single one sheared.
Okay. Ended up having to basically stud weld them on without a stud weld gun. So I converted the torch on my TIG welder to actually take the stud, and played around with the settings until I got it to be able to heat up just the end of the stud and create a little weld pool, and then you basically stick them on there and they're dead solid.
Yeah.
And around the top of each one of those I've then used the cover shield product again, just to stop any corrosion in the future, and then I'll machine some plastic, some nylon nuts to go back over these.
Yeah, and we had to get the settings right so it didn't weld to the carpet upstairs as well.
Yeah.
Smoky carpets. This is the sump spacer that gives us an additional capacity.
About 0.8
in the sump.
litre.
Yep, and it's also got the return points there from the turbos.
Its main point is a return point for the sumps on the turbos.
And didn't you have fun and games with this?
No, that's okay.
Oh no, it's the gearbox. It was, which one was broken off?
So this stud here broke up. It's the only one that's above it is in fresh air basically.
Yep.
And that just sheared straight off. So that has to be drilled out, retapped. So what was a half an hour job became 2 or 3 hours, something like that. As you'll often find with most things you do on cars that are of a certain age.
And as you can see here, you can just see part of the exhaust manifold there coming into the first turbo. There's the oil sump we talked about before. You can see it in practice now. Obviously this will fill up with oil and be returned via the scavenge pumps, which are located on this plate just here. You see them both?
And there's one per turbo, and basically because the turbos sit lower than the oil in the main car sump, in the main engine sump, you've got a positive system rather than it being a gravity drain back. You have to positively pump it back.
And a little sneak preview of what the exhaust is going to look like. There's one in there. A little bit of fettling left to do on that, but it looks pretty good. What have we got? The air intake. So just inside here, you can see where we removed the original air box. It had to be modified slightly, and it was cutting. You had to cut a section off.
Air box out.
Yeah.
But pretty much all that comes from MRN.
Yeah, all the stuff there. Yeah, just
Convert.
yeah, you cut that out and replace with there.
So it's really nice in there. It should make a nice sound in there.
Yep, looking good.
Now the next stage we're at with this is because this turbo kit was originally developed for the 3.4 engine with a 6-speed gearbox. This is the 2.7 engine with the 5-speed, and basically we've got to make a new one of these brackets to take up this difference. So the 6-speed gearbox would have sat this far out. For the 5-speed, there's a difference. So we're just waiting on some drawings to come through and then send it off to the laser cutters.
Yep. So this is coming from MRN. It's not something you'll do yourself. So in the future cars,
yeah, because
and
this
projects,
is the development car for the 2.7. This is where we're basically finding out what the differences are, what needs to be adjusted, so MRN can supply a kit that just bolts on.
Exactly. Yeah. So going forward, there shouldn't be any issues with this. It's just something that we found in the, I'll say, the development car. Okay, we'll take you up top and have a quick talk about what we've done at the top of the engine. It's quite difficult to see because, as you imagine, it's quite a tight space anyway. And then you add 2 turbos and everything else in, so quite difficult to film that, but we'll see. All right, from the top of the engine, we can just see we've got the nice inlet there. Looks very nice. It's really tricky to see what we've got so far. So let's think. We've got
it's the GT3 throttle body, so that's 82mm diameter.
Yep.
As opposed to I think 70 something on the standard.
The boost pipes is a very close fit. That was worth noting on this one.
Yeah, but it all clears nicely. So when the engine moves, we've got no rubbing down here.
Yep. What you're saying now is quite a lot of time was spent when routing all the pipes and connectors and boost pipes.
I found if anything's got a Jubilee clip on it, a hose clamp, I can add at least an hour, 2 hours maybe.
It's worthwhile doing though to make sure that there's every clearance for everything, because it's very tight fitment. It was never meant to be twin turboed.
It's the difference between doing it properly and just throwing it together.
Absolutely.
So I want the thing to last.
Yeah. You don't want to be back in there replacing pipes that have worn through because they've been rubbing on something, or they were too tight, or they've got on a hot manifold or something like that. So time's been taken to do this nicely, so you don't have to take it to bits every 5 minutes.
Yep. So down we've got the so this is the oil fill line. So this would go from here and fill up the engine. So Martin's put a breather in here. This is the breather that goes to the sumps for the turbos. So with the scavenge system, you want to be pulling in air as well as oil. So you're basically not creating too much of a vacuum inside the turbos themselves and pulling in exhaust gases or air through the turbo seals.
We can just see the top of that replacement air intake. Look. This is for the charge cooler.
That's the header tank for the charge cooler. So that's basically the highest point, so we can bleed it and allow for a bit of expansion with thermal heating.
Lovely. New injectors have been placed in here. Almost impossible to film. You can barely flip and get a hand down there, let alone a phone and a hand. So they're in there. Don't worry about that. Is there anything else we've got?
Dump valve.
Oh yeah, of course. Yep.
Blow off valve.
Yep. That's in place. I'm sure people are going to ask about these 2 wires on top. So Paul's added additional
knock sensors. So the standard Porsche system runs 2 knock sensors, 1 per bank, and I've basically doubled them up so we can listen to it when tuning directly, and we can also then use those inputs into so if we go aftermarket ECU down the line, or digital knock control or knock monitoring. You can just basically see what the engine's doing, listen to what it's doing. I think the knock control, knock monitoring plus wideband monitoring are probably your two favourite points to monitor when doing a tune like this or boosting an engine. If you know what the engine's doing with knock and lambda, you're well away.
Yep. So this is not part of the kit. This is an addition to. So just want to be clear on that one.
Yeah, just future-proofing myself, because to get to the knock sensors, they're right underneath all of this. So I wanted to add them while it was all off, rather than take it all apart down the line.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about as far as we got, but we thought it was worth adding an update for you all to see. We haven't forgot yet, but you know, it's quite a lot of work, and it's not we don't do this for a full-time job. It's just something we're doing in our spare time. So
you might notice that the seats aren't what Porsche.
No, they're not. They're top secret though, aren't they?
Top secret.
Top secret.
You buy them at Vauxhall.
They look really well there, don't they? We'll cover that another time. Right, I'd like to say thank you for anyone who's watched and subscribed, and some more updates are coming soon. Hopefully next time we'll be doing an update, this will be going off for mapping. Hopefully. See you again, guys.